Here it goes. Yeah. Let him hear you, folks. Let him hear you. Come join us as we take you on a trip from the practice pen to the show arena and let you listen in as top trainers prepare their students to compete in the Western industry's most exciting equine sport. And you'll learn what it takes to become a top weekend cutter.
Just relax, Robert.
Very good, Chase. Keep pushing on that horn, bud.
Cow side leg just a little. There you go. Stay up. Back up. Stay up. There you go. Good. Don't lean. There you go.
People from all walks of life can find a place in our sport.
This is Dr. Harry Anderson. I've devoted the last 40 years of my life to planning and developing the products we have available to you in Total Feeds. Total Feeds has safe, simple, and proven nutritional programs for you and your animals. Make Total Feeds a part of your healthy lifestyle.
If old-time Texas mesquite coal-fired pit barbecue is what you've been hankering, then look in Belton, Texas. Shops Barbecue. Some of the best barbecue you'll ever eat. And don't miss the Texas Music Series. They do a number of nights throughout the year. You can come and eat some of the best pit barbecue in Central Texas and listen to some Texas Red Dirt Road music. If you're looking for a place to have your equine event, Central Florida is the place to be. Home to every equestrian discipline that you could think of, from dressage to 3-day eventers to hunter jumpers to polo and now cutting. There's no better situated facility than Florida Horse Park. Florida Horse Park. Visit www.flhorsepark.com. Hey folks, welcome to Cuttin Up. This week is part 2 of the Weekend Cutting Horse Association's regional work-offs from both Belton, Texas and Ocala, Florida. This whole episode is brought to you by Total Feeds. Be sure and get a hold of Total Feeds. Dr. Anderson, I'm sure, has a game plan for the nutritional needs of all your animals. Let's start off in Ocala, Florida. We're going to show you something that's never been done before. It's called extreme cutting. Stay tuned. Here we are, day 2, Ocala, Florida, Florida Horse Park, Kenny Knowlton. Crown on the Rocks is the horse. Owned by Francisco Perez. Watch this horse stop with the cow. Very animated, very pretty horse. Very correct. Kenny gets off that one. He's going back for his next cow. This horse was owned by Francisco Perez, ridden by Kenny Knowlton. This class is brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue. Looky here, this is how you do it. Kenny Knowlton doing a great job. Crown on the Rocks, very intent on this cow, very hard stopping horse. Good job. He goes back for his last cow. Sonny's Barbecue sponsored this class, and they made sure that we had plenty of sweet tea, ice cold, for everybody all day long. Kenny finishes up right here in the middle. Crown on the Rocks. It's got his little black cow. Little cow is right there in the middle. Didn't present him too much difficulty, but letting him get around and show John Talbert what a nice open horse is going to look like. Next up is Kathy Sokol. And she's back on her faithful steed, Catsmaw. Here in Ocala, Florida, maybe an hour and 15 minutes from their ranch in Seville. Catsmaw is a great little horse. Again, come out of that Brewer Ranch dispersal a few years back out of Weatherford, Texas. Kathy and Ted's son-in-law, Ben Roberson, hooked him up with this horse, and they have had lots of success ever since. This class brought to you by Ocala Homes and Farms. Be sure and get a hold of them if you're looking to move into the Ocala area. Kathy's got this little brown cow cut. She gets her hand down. We have watched her show this horse in all different parts of the country. Kathy wins it with a 74. Here's Miss Sandra Schnotz from Leander, Texas. And this is Mitch Akers she's riding, affectionately called Mitchie. Her and her husband Tommy, like I said, from Leander, right outside of Austin, but have bought them a place up in Seymour, Texas, real close to their trainer, Roy Stallcup, who's right there in the corner talking to her. Mitch Akers is such a good little war horse. He has taught Miss Sandra how to cut. She is having lots of fun, and her husband Tommy's having lots of fun hauling her around to these cuttings. Miss Sandra and Mitch get their hand down on this second cow here in the 15 amateur class from Belton, Texas. Class is brought to you by Bell County Expo. They host a variety of big events from rodeo to horse shows, Bell County Fair, concerts, just a great facility. All right, and that's how you win the 15 AM, marking a 72. Good job, Miss Sandra. Now let's skip on back to Ocala, Florida. Here's Hannah Knowles. Miss Hannah is mounted back on her faithful steed Glows. Granddad Ronnie Hodges has got her on this little black cow, and let's see how they get along. This class was brought to you by Larson Farms, where you can buy your Total Feeds products there in Ocala. That one gives her an opportunity to get off. She straightens her reins and goes back for another one. She's listening to what Granddad says, and he's got a cow picked out for her. And she cuts the one that wants to be cut. Gets her hand down. This little cow is going to try her a little bit. She decides to get off that one and go get her another one, see if she can finish up in the middle of the pen in front of John Talbert, our judge. Hannah and her husband live up in Tennessee, but she is raised in Georgia. Wonderful family, both of her brothers, Christian and Mitchell. Christian is working in Weatherford riding horses, and Mitchell is going to be a big pitcher for one of the major leagues one of these days. He's quite the baseball player. Well, here's one of the legends of our sport, Mr. Keith Barnett. here at the Bell County Expo. Keith's on Pretty Smart Cat. Keith's from Brenham, Texas. This class was brought to you by Shops Barbecue, some of the best barbecue that you can get in Central Texas. Just an exit or so up from the Bell County Expo, but he's probably hung his hat more places than I've ever been. And that's how you win the 15 novice with a 74. Ronnie Hodges on Blessed Me, owned by Dr. William Ellis, is his pony. Ronnie and his lovely wife Cindy have quite the program down there. Lots of amateurs, non-pros have learned how to cut with the benefit of this man's knowledge. This 15 novice class was brought to you by Florida Horse Park. We were so tickled that the Weekend Cuttin' Horse Association put on the very first cutting ever at Florida Horse Park. Ronnie's going to go back into the herd, get him another one here. Gary Moore's looking at him. Sure, he's got Ted Sokol on the other side. Ronnie's going to finish up his run here with a little black. At one time, this man, back in the 80s, I think, I may be wrong, but I think he judged more aged events than anybody else in the NCHA. I know he judged a number of the Triple Crown stuff there going on back in the 80s with Bill and Joe Heim, and just an excellent judge, hands down.
This is Dr. Harry Anderson. That's a great question. How do you get that horse's hair to shine like a mirror? Well, you can do it several ways. You can use artificial conditioner on it. You can put top dressings on it and oil them every day, but that's a temporary thing. Or you can feed high oil to them, and some people claim that that does it, and that will help the hair shine a little bit. But if you really want it to shine on a lasting basis, you need to look at the basic nutritional program of the horse, because that's what does it. If you have the right nutrients that grow hair very rapidly and get the skin a really good texture, which they both go hand in hand, that's caused by getting the right nutrients like methionine and lysine and the trace minerals in line, and get the blood flow up where you get a good blood flow to that skin surface and get that hair growing very rapidly. It will shine. It will shine just as well as if you just oiled it, simply because the hair is healthy, and hair that is growing fast is shiny and slippery. In fact, if you do it this way, a lot of people tell me when they feed Total Equine and they get that real fast hair growth and that good skin texture, that the dust and the dirt does not stick to the hair. Healthy hair is slippery, and it doesn't have to do with the oil, it has to do with that protein content. So get the blood flow, get the nutrients right, and you don't have to use any artificial treatment to have that hair shine like a mirror.
Hot quit. Right after these messages, we'll find out what you decided. Bell County Expo is one of the finest equestrian facilities in Central Texas, hands down. Not only are equestrian events, rodeo, concerts, graduations, agricultural shows, symposiums, and the county fair, which always brings a lot of fun to the Bell County Expo. Contact bellcountyexpo.com to find out if you can bring your event to Bell County Expo in Bell County. How would you like to live closer to the Will Rogers Coliseum than anyone in Weatherford, Texas? Thanks to the new Chisholm Trail Parkway, Cleburne to Fort Worth is just 25 minutes. This resort-style saltwater pool area was designed with thoughts and memories of floating the Frio River in Concan, Texas, with the relaxing atmosphere of the finest resorts in Cancun, Mexico. Definitely built for entertaining. The horsemen will appreciate all pipe fencing and turnouts with water and shelter to support a broodmare and foal operation. Lots of outbuildings, working pens, alleys, and traps for working cattle and keeping horses tuned. And a great big round pen with terrific footing for getting them ready to go show. Beautiful 20-acre fertilized Bermuda grass hay meadow that yielded 94 rolls at the first cutting. The main home with metal roof is all Austin stone and cedar trim. 4 bedrooms, lots of custom tile, wood floors throughout, crown molding, heat pump system, the list goes on. The large dining area sits next to a huge kitchen with more cabinets than you can shake a stick at. With a huge office, big yard, beautiful views, and lots of shade trees. For your little piece of Texas, contact Stephanie Cordaway and Keller Williams. The Belton and Temple Chambers of Commerce would like to welcome you to Bell County. Both Belton and Temple share the shores of Belton Lake and host the Gin area, home to Dead Fish Grill, one of the most scenic restaurants in Central Texas, right on the shores of Lake Belton. Also, the Santa Fe Railroad Museum, with lots of history of Bell County and the railroads coming through here. Bell County is also home to Bell County Expo, one of the finest equestrian centers in Central Texas. Be sure and visit BeltonChamber.com and TempleTX.com to see what all you can see in Bell County, Texas. The rural American lifestyle. It's how we work, and it's how we play. It's how we learn and how we enjoy the finer things in life. How we take care of our animals and tend to the land. It's a way of life. Has been for hundreds of years. Now there's a whole new way for rural America to watch TV. According to the rule book, contestant may quit a cow when it is obviously stopped or obviously turned away. This rider had the opportunity, he waited a couple seconds too late, so it was definitely a hot quit. Here we are back in Ocala, Florida, Florida Horse Park, and here is Miss Ashley Barwick. Mr. Mac Odom's granddaughter here, he sure showed his kids how to train a horse. This young lady, at the time you're watching this, I believe she was only 14, 15 years old. She trained this horse, Smokin' Trona Miracle, and a pretty moving little mare. These two just go together like peanut butter and jelly. Very correct. Little horse gets out there, can stop a cow. Good job, Ashley. She's going to go back and get her another one. This youth class was brought to you by Russell's Western Wear there in Ocala. Little horse just gets down and will stop a cow. And that's how you win the class, with a 77. Here's Miss Mary West back at the Bell County Expo in Belton, Texas. Wife of Tommy West, they're from Conroe, Texas. This class is brought to you by Bloomer Trailers. Waiting on those cows, traffic to clear to see who's going to be left, and she's got her cow. Hand down, she goes to work. Tommy just told her stay there on that cow. And she decides to get off of her. Got her another one. That last cow is going to be hers, and she's got it. That was Miss Mary West and Widow's Little Freckle. Hannah Knowles from Springfield, Tennessee, made the trip all the way to Ocala, riding Enjoy a Dually. This 35,000 novice non-pro class in Ocala was brought to you by American Hat Company. One of the finest lids cowboys have been putting on their head for a long time. Keith Maddox, Keith Mundy, we thank you so very much for being part of this organization and getting out there with these cutters, making American Hat a household name. Hannah's finished with that first cow. She's going back for her next one. Got this little black one, Enjoy a Dually, hands down, go to town. Trapping this killer cow right in the middle. John Talbert's got to be liking this from the judge's box. What a stop. There you go. Bam. Hannah is doing a good job. Gets off that one. She's walking to the herd, getting that last one, chipping one more. Gonna finish up the run. Which one she got her eye on? Looks like she likes the black. Gets her hand down and goes to town. Enjoy a Dually is loving its job. And that's how you finish up the run, marking a 76. Bell County Expo, here's Brad Buckley riding CD's Bronze Cat. Brad's got him one right in the middle, third of the pen, hand down. This class brought to you by Manzanola Feeds. Horse wanting that cow to put some pressure on him. Turn back guys are coming into play now, trying to help Brad out. Tommy West is in his corner talking to him. He gets off that one. Here's Joey O'Bannon. One of Coy Smith's clients. Joey's riding Smart T-Man Twist. The amazing thing here with Joey is almost completely deaf. You'll notice he's wearing a headset where Coy can talk to him, his trainer, and get him through this run. Smart T-Man Twist is a Freckles Fancy Twist horse. Horse and Joey seem to get along good. Joey had a good time cutting up with us. This little yellow cow is going to try him, wanting to duck him. Ronnie Hodges is going to try not to let that happen in that corner. Get over there, Joey. Now he's got him a place to get off. Good thing, because that cow was going back whether he wanted him to or not. Joey's got some good help. Ronnie Hodges, Ted Sokol, Coy Smith, Curry Deal. You couldn't ask for any better help down in Ocala, Florida. This class brought to you by Total Feeds. Dr. Anderson has something in his arsenal to help you and your animals live a healthy lifestyle. Go to totalfeeds.com. Little black cows wanting to take him across the pen. Every time he makes a turn, he pushes him a little bit further closer to that herd. Ted does the same thing on the other side. Lets Joey finish up that run, marking a 72 and winning the 2000 amateur. Here's Miss Ashley Barwick from Leesburg, Georgia, riding Smoking Trona Miracle, little horse she trained all by herself. Colt Moore's over there in the corner helping her. I'm sure Ashley's daddy, Jason Barwick, is a hollering from the fence. This is Mac Odom's granddaughter. And it's unbelievable what Mr. Mack taught this young lady. Like I said, this little mare is an amazing little athlete, and her and Ashley fit each other to a T. Brought to you by Roger Peters Livestock Insurers. Ted Sokol's talking to her, helping her get that little red mott right out in good position. And they go back to work. Watch this little horse work. Low, precise, intent on a cow. Very bright, very animated. Everything that a judge wants to see, Smoking Trona Miracle and Ashley Barwick will present to a judge. She's going to finish up. She's looking at one of these cows up top. Most of you know her Uncle Jeremy and her Aunt Candace, who own Western Bloodstock. That's how Ashley finishes it up with a 76. Now let's go to another event that we had there in Ocala, Florida, where we introduced the very first ever extreme cutting. Now what we may have just done, folks, is turn cutting into a timed event. We take a herd of babysitter Corrientes, just like in this case that you're fixing to see, and right before a cutter starts to enter the herd, we put in one fresh cow. Now he's got to drive his fresh cow out, and a 60-second clock starts when his hand goes down. Now, it can get pretty Western. It's really exciting watching somebody hold a cow for a full minute. So let's take a look at the extreme cutting from the Weekend Cutting Horse Association Eastern Regionals in Ocala, Florida at Florida Horse Park. Yeah! Go ahead! Time! Yeah! Well, here we are in Ocala, Florida at the Weekend Cutting Horse Association's Eastern Regionals, and we have the winner of the very first, the world premiere of the universe, the extreme cutting. We did it here in Ocala, Florida. Coy Smith won it. How fun was that?
That was a lot of fun. I've got a customer, and he's only been cutting for about a year and a half, and he's been a cowboy all of his life. And he told me, he said, riding cutting horses is tough. He said, y'all always want me to slow down and everything. He said that's the most fun I've ever had at a cutting. He said I got to go fast, and it was Western, and it was a damn good time. You know, I mean, we really appreciate y'all putting it on, and you know, it's a good time. Hopefully, you know, to get a lot bigger and more people will get into it.
Well, you know, if everybody saw a little bit of it, we just turned cutting into a timed event, John Talbert.
And it was a, you know, this is an amazing event for our sport, and I don't know, you guys noticed the crowd and whatnot, but everybody was anxious and excited, and as it unfolded and everybody got to hooping and hollering, and you know, it is a cowboy event, and it went beyond my expectations of how this was going to look, and this young man right here, I've got to stop and say this, that I'm a cowboy, and I want to tell you, this man right here is a real cowboy and a horseman, and I've seen him show through this contest, and he's an amazing showman, and his horses are fabulous, and from one cowboy to another, I take my hat off to you, and I was so proud the way you handled that holding a cow for 60 seconds, and you and your horse, and it was better than I could ever imagine. Thank you.
Well, I sure appreciate it, man. It was an honor having you come down here and judge us.
Yes,
you know, we sure appreciate it. Absolutely.
Well, it's an honor just standing in between them. You know, the 1993 NCHA Futurity Champion, my good friend Coy Smith, Floridian cowboy. These boys can do some stuff with some of these swamp cattle that's got a lot of air to them out of these palmetto swamps that they just can't do back in Texas and Oklahoma. They just haven't ever had to. Yes. You know, he carries a black whip on his saddle and probably 3 or 4 ropes, and you get out here in Florida and you watch them work, and you know exactly what all those tools are for, and they use them on a daily basis, John Talbert.
Yeah, don't forget the big long knife they carry.
Yeah, they carry a big long knife, but the Ocala Homes and Farms was our sponsor of this event, Miss Carla Lord. So if you know of anybody, or you know anybody that is looking to move to Ocala and buy them some horse or ranch property, yes, Ocala Homes and Farms is where to do it. And we are gonna bring this event back here, and we're gonna take it on the road. I think we have found our Saturday night event at Weekend Cuttings to draw the crowd, draw people in. We had people in the stands that just heard about it on the radio, heard about it on local TV, heard about it word of mouth, and they come out in droves. They didn't know how to hoop and holler, but we was showing them how to hoop and holler, weren't we?
It was a good time. And, you know, I think, you know, a lot of people were here for this dressage event, and they came over here and watched, and I think they enjoyed it. You know, they thought it was really neat.
The dressage people thought we were nuts.
They did. A lot of their horses went running backwards out of here, but it was still a good time.
Yeah, they dressage horses, we love them. They're horsemen. They are in the equine sport too, but they didn't know what to think about this. That's the first thing they said was, we ain't never seen nothing like this, John Talbert.
But I'll tell you, this Florida Horseman's Park is, the idea and the concept is going to bring back so much to this facility, and what the state has done for this for these horse equine events. It's going to be unbelievable what's going to happen underneath this beautiful building and setting, and it's so well run, and the management here is phenomenal. But I can't say enough for what the state has done for Florida, and I can't wait to see the events that transpire here, and I'm thankful to be here to get to see it at the first cutting and know that great things are going to happen.
Florida Ag Commission, they've got a couple senators, couple House representatives that are really thumping the drum to get lots of support for this facility, and they're doing lots of work. So from Ocala, Florida, with Coy Smith and John Talbert, I'm Kenny Imai. Thank you for joining us. This is the champion for the very first world premiere extreme cutting.
Extreme.
Morning, this is Keith Barnett. We're with Talk a Bit with Kenny this morning, and we're just trying to figure out some bits that will fit everybody. Over the years, I've used a lot of clappers, I've used prongs. We've all used every kind of bit in the world, but the most basic bit, and the one that I think fits most everybody, and everybody should have one of, is just a regular old correction bit. This bit here is a real good bit to get started with. This is a shorter shank. It's easier on a horse. It's got a lot of bend. You can pull a horse around, but still get the head set that you want on a horse. And if you need a little more bit, then you go to a little longer shank here that I use quite a bit, and I've had a lot of luck with. This bit is soft and easy on a horse, but you can still get the headset that you're looking for. And of course, you ask your trainer, but I think it'll fit nearly any horse, or it has me, and I've had real good luck with it. Just a small, easy deal here, but we're just trying to inform y'all, and this is Talking a Bit with Keith Barnett, and thank y'all.
Talking a Bit segment is designed to let you know what trainers consider to be their favorite bit and what their uses are. Be sure and talk with your trainer to see what bit works best for you and your horse. Sioux Falls Prater is the place for all your John Deere green in Central Texas. They're also the steel dealer in Central Texas for all your lawn and garden power equipment. Be sure and get a hold of the good folks at Sioux Falls Prater. They know about anything that's green for the farm and ranch. Just visit cptractor.com.
I'm Dr. Glenn Blodgett from the 4 Sixes Ranch here in Guthrie, Texas, and I highly recommend Alfalfa Cubes from Manzanola, Colorado. The thing I can tell you about this Top of the Rockies cube is it's the most consistent form of alfalfa I've ever been able to purchase. We feed this in the pasture on the ground some, we feed it in the lots. It really does meet all the nutritional needs. I couldn't recommend any hay source any higher than I can this Top of the Rockies cube.
Hi, I am Kathy Reiserfoot. My husband Jonathan and I have insured with Roger Peters Livestock for over 30 years. Our most recent issue was I was showing our mare. We were sitting 4th in the world and she tore a suspensory. Our insurance coverage is the reason we were able to continue on with Lola, and I so appreciate Roger Peters Livestock Insurance.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us this week on Cuttin' Up. Again, we want to say a big thank you to Total Feeds. Be sure and go to totalfeeds.com. Dr. Anderson has a way to help you with your nutritional program, no matter what kind of animal you got, or even yourself. Totalfeeds.com. We also want to say a big thank you to Florida Horse Park and Bell County Expo. Both of those facilities let us put on some great events, and we look forward to getting back there to them. Big thank you to all of our sponsors that made these two shows possible. It was amazing the corporate folks that got out and got behind this event, both in Belton, Texas, as well as out in Florida. Florida Horse Park, again, that was the very first cutting ever put on at Florida Horse Park, but it surely won't be the last. Well, be sure and join us right here next week, because we'll be right here cutting up.
Home on the range, this is not the same. If you can't cut it, then get out the ring. Stay behind the gate if you can't stand the flame. Let someone in there who knows the game. If you can't cut it, move out the way. Let me in there, get out my way.
Be sure and go to Cuttin Up TV's Facebook page